Welcome to the podcast.
What's up, J. Reed?
Hey, man, I appreciate you coming by, man. It's hard. You're a hard person to get in touch with, though, but we
I'm glad we're here.
exactly. We finally made it. We finally made it. Welcome to the podcast. Appreciate you coming. So we're gonna get to it. So, how long you been married?
So, I've been married since July last year.
Okay.
Happily married,
Yeah.
I like to add.
Okay. I had got on you about that one time. You said you was married, but I was like, wait a minute, you didn't say happily married, so I'm kind of like.
I definitely remembered.
Right. You been taking notes. You've been listening to what I've been saying, huh?
For sure.
Fair.
You're supposed to learn something every day.
Yeah, smart people learn something every day. So you got married. So when did he propose to you?
He proposed in February 2020, and we got married like a few months later, that July.
In July 2021?
Yeah. You said 2021?
Yeah, so you got married in 2021, right?
I'm sorry, I didn't hear you.
I said you got married in 2021, right?
Right.
Okay. And how long y'all knew each other before he proposed?
We had met the prior year in March. At a tattoo party. One of my homegirls I worked with at the time, she was moving into her place, so she wanted to do like a tattoo party / housewarming. I mean, it was weird too, because definitely wasn't expecting that, and like we ain't had no mutual friends or nothing like that, but just it took him a while for like my tattoo, so we talked while he did that, and we just kind of like clicked.
Okay, big facts. Did he have kids?
No, he didn't have any kids.
How many kids you had before you got married to him?
Before he got married, I had 3.
And it's about 3 different guys, or how many?
Well, it is 2 different guys. My oldest was by my high school sweetheart, and then I had twins 3 years after that.
How old you is?
I'm 33.
How old your husband?
He's his birthday actually coming up Sunday. He's gonna be 36.
Okay, so this is his first child with you.
Right.
Wow. Okay. That's very interesting right there. Because usually when a guy don't have no kids, he don't want to be a stepfather or be with a woman with 3 kids. In that case, so that's very rare right there. Kid,
Yeah.
that's very rare. Did you before you met him? Did you thought you would get married?
That's funny. No, I did not. At one point, I was like, I didn't think I would do the marriage thing, and then when I met him, it definitely changed.
What made it change?
It was a lot. Like, he's the type of man who say what he mean, and what he say he gonna do. Like, his word is bond. So, when we did start getting serious, he definitely told me he wanted to marry me, and I'm like, I heard that before. You know what I'm saying? So I'm like, okay, but still not getting too excited about it for real, but just like, I believe him, and if it's meant to be, it's gonna happen.
And he said he wanted to marry you. Like, how long before y'all was dating when he said this?
Maybe a couple months, maybe 2-3 months.
How long y'all was dating before he engaged? Before he proposed?
It was almost a year when he proposed, of us knowing each other.
Okay, that ain't too bad. Usually the statistics say it says at least 6 months to a year. You already know if you have a spouse or not. That person is spouse material. Oh yeah.
And we kind of, I don't want to say moved too fast. I feel like it was the right pace for us because we did live together before we got engaged and married. But like I said, he did everything he said he was gonna do. He prepared for it, and I felt he was serious.
Okay. Let me ask you this though: if you wasn't black, do you feel like you would have been married by now?
If I wasn't black,
Yeah.
I don't know. That's a tough question.
Because I feel like you would have been because you already had 3 kids. I feel like you probably would have been married to one of your other baby fathers. You know what I'm saying? I feel like because usually in the black, why you feel like in the black community, people have kids by somebody but they don't marry them, or they just date, they be with that person for years without marriage or anything, or commitment.
Right. The 3 guys that I did have children by, they did speak about marriage to me. However, it was after I was pregnant. So it's like, I guess I didn't take it as serious. And rightfully so, because we did end up breaking up in those other 2 prior relationships. But I don't know too. I was younger too. I feel like that has a factor to do with it. Like, especially younger guys, like I feel like it's hard or more difficult for them to commit or make a big commitment like marriage. Especially if they're not established or, already have some plan for their future for real.
Right. Where he proposed to you at?
We was actually threw him a party at our house and like decorating everything, and everybody knew he was gonna propose to me except for me. So he proposed at his birthday party.
And none of your friends or your parents didn't tell you about it? They kept their mouth shut?
No.
Okay, he proposed. Okay. So what was it like dating with kids with him? Was like, because he didn't have any. What was that conversation like? Because now he's being a stepfather, he's taking on, and that's a huge responsibility right there.
It really is.
What was that mindset like? What did y'all have like conversations about that? Tough conversations about that?
We did, and for like the first couple months, like, I didn't introduce him to them. Like, they would see me on the phone or like we'll video chat and stuff like that. And like they were a little bit younger, like 8 and like 11-ish. And so when I finally did feel like we were getting serious, we went out for like a little ice cream date, and he felt like they were somebody that fit good with his life, and he liked them, and kind of took him under his wing. And I feel like I'm glad I did it when or that we met when they were younger, because I remember my mom getting married when I was like a teenager, and it kind of being difficult to try to mix our families together. And so I was definitely grateful that they kind of knew him younger, and they kind of like going through puberty now, so they can be a little handful sometimes. But I feel like we just got a better foundation because they were younger.
How many, like, you got boys, girls?
Well, before we had our son together, I had 2 girls and 1 boy.
Okay, 2 girls and 1 boy. How old the girls is?
My oldest is 14, and then I have boy and girl twins. They're 11.
Okay. And your daughter is how old again?
My oldest is 14.
Whew, okay. Well, yeah, she almost 18, huh?
She almost what?
She's almost 18 soon, so,
Right, they're almost legal.
Right. So that means you had your oldest when you was, what, a teenager?
I did get pregnant at 17, but I had her when I was 18.
And you how old right now? 33, you said?
Yes.
Okay, that makes sense. My mother had me at.
You trying to do the math? Them numbers don't lie, huh?
Numbers don't lie. My mother had me at 16 too. So I mean, my mom basically grew up together. You know, I remember my mother when she was in her 20s and 30s. It's like, you know, so I remember basically my mother's childhood, basically.
Right. I do feel like me and my oldest daughter, like you said, kind of grew up together for real.
Yeah. I remember my mother and my father's childhood. Like, you know, I remember everything up to they was about 25, 24 and 25, I remember. Matter of fact, when they was 23, I think I remember everything up to then. What was your daughter's reaction like to her stepfather or your husband?
They all received him well, really. And we didn't have any problems with that.
Okay. Was your parents married?
My parents were not married, and but my mom, like I said, she did get back out there dating, and she ended up finding her husband. I was about like 13, 14-ish.
So you said
they're still married today.
So your parents got married at 14 or 15, you said?
No, when I was 14, and when I was about 14, but they she wasn't married to my dad.
Okay, so your parents wasn't married growing up.
Right.
Okay. What did your mother tell you about marriage growing up or men growing up?
I remember her trying to instill independence in me, and so that I could be able to like take care of myself if because of the possibility of maybe not being married. I feel like I had like a lot of responsibility when I was younger, and I feel like that did help mold me.
So she didn't teach you anything about marriage or tell you anything about you should go find a husband or, you know. No. How would you tell your daughter about finding a husband to get married? What would you tell your daughter?
Well, as far as that, I do tell my girls now that their first priority should be education that can help sustain them and, you know, help them make some money or get a trade or something like that. And I try to explain to them maybe like finding somebody on the same kind of journey that they are on. And then too, just to be okay if it doesn't happen. Because like I said, that's not like being a woman, that you're not defined by the roles and titles that you play throughout life, because those things are always going to change. So to just be able to take care of yourself for real, and to accept somebody else if they come along.
Why not tell her how to cooperate and be a wife, though? Since you a wife, why you won't tell her the qualities to be a wife? Or what?
I feel like she'll be able to see, because she is growing up in a home where it's a mother and a father. But I probably could have deeper conversations and
I feel like
really explain certain things.
I feel like a lot of women should have these conversations with their daughters, and fathers with their sons and daughters too. Parents, period, should be having these with their children, how to be like husbands and wives and better partners and cooperate with your spouse or whatever the case may be. Because we live in a society right now where you need 2 incomes. Mm-hmm. You know, it's a lot of homelessness going on. I don't know if you realize the statistics on it. Like, it's rising right now across the world. Homelessness and people out on the street or whatever. I mean, and if people don't get married, well, you know what's going on. If you don't get married or not, people don't get married. They're gonna die. They're gonna die broke. They're gonna, they're gonna work until they die, basically, without a husband. Women without a husband gonna work till they die, or a man without a wife gonna work until they die. Though. So, if you don't have like I read the statistics on it. You can look this up too, if you get a chance. That if you don't have $1.2 million invested in your retirement, how are you gonna make it to the end of life though? Until 85 or 80 or whatever. You see what I'm saying?
That's valid. But I think just growing up for real, you get like little lessons and stuff like that, and teamwork and the relationships you have with your friends. Like, I mean, the golden rule, treat others how you want to be treated. It's just certain common denominators in each healthy relationship. And I feel like from learning from those, and then, like I said, having those conversations too, because that is important.
Very
especially
important.
If we want to change it for the future.
I just don't understand because other races get married at a younger age. Like black women are always dead last in marriage. I mean, other races, they go to college. Nothing wrong with going to college. I encourage people to get a trade or whatever. But I feel like more women need to, and the husbands. I mean, fathers and daughters, or fathers' parents need to tell the community, the children, that go to school or whatever. But other races, they go to school for their freshman year, they already getting married or whatever, and they junior year, they already engaged, and then their senior year, they for graduate and they off married. But the black people, we always last in this though. Why you think that though? In the black community, we just dead last or whatever. We just last in marriage. 1 out of 3 black women gonna get married in their lifetime. So why do you feel that way?
That's valid. Because, like I said, when my mom, when she got married, she was older in age, probably about mid to late 30s to 40s. And her husband, like 10 years older than her, so he was a little older. And that's her first and only time being married, like I said. But my grandma, she was married actually twice. She was married to my mother's father, and then she got married to her husband, and they stayed married for a while till he passed away. But that really is a good question. I feel like, I don't know, I kind of like from history that our family dynamic has been broken down like that. And so we're like you said, we're taught now to focus on like building ourselves and trying to self-sustain, and we get in the everyday hustle and bustle of life for real, and in a partnership or thinking about relationships that kind of that drop by the wayside.
Right. Hold, you say your mother was married?
She wasn't married to my father, but she did get married. When she did, she was older in age, like her 30s or 40s.
That ain't too old. I mean, that's old for marriage right there. How long did that last?
They're still married.
Okay, so your parents were married then. Well, I mean, not your mother were married. You were married.
Right. Yeah, but I'm sorry. Go ahead.
But I was say this right here. Why aren't black women teaching their daughters that the same way you fight in school for your degree, or you fight to get these supervisor positions or whatever the case may be, you should be fighting like that to maintain your relationship and find a husband? But would you blame society and music and social media for this right here?
I think that it has kind of been a shift, and I think society and media does have a lot to do with it, but I kind of feel like it's the responsibility of the mothers to teach their children, boys and girls.
Right.
And then I do feel like the guys should take over, the father should take over teaching the son that, you know, at his coming of age or his puberty. But, dang, I'm sorry, I just forgot the question.
I was saying, don't you feel like society? It's okay. Do you feel like music and social media is kind of like destroying relationships in a sense, because a lot of females right now are, you know, they want to live like these boss bitches and boss women, and people are not taking relationships seriously. Like,
right. I think that part of it is the attitude shift is like, what can they get out of it, or how is this going to benefit me? And I get that, but relationships are give and take, so you're going to have to give little and take some. I mean, healthy boundaries are definitely do need to be established. But this is the like I generation, so they microwave stuff. They want it fast. They want it now. Money, the clout of having a happy relationship or whatever, posting it and likes and stuff like that. Like, it's really a self-centered generation right now.
Right. I never seen anything to care about likes and retweets and views and
bullying. My kids had like some little fight club. They in the 5th grade now. And the kids, they get online and they egg each other on or antagonize something. And they get to school and then they want to fight each other in the bathroom, whatever. They go in there and fight and then come out like nothing happened or whatever. But like, the internet is really not healthy. And I know a few kids that like go to therapy for like, because it can be a lot of stimulation. They don't know how to handle it for real.
I feel like it's the metaverse. Like, I think social media is great, it's positive, but I feel like too much of anything is bad for you. You need a healthy diet of everything. You have to take it in moderation. And I think even as an adult, I try to take breaks on social media because it can be exhausting. You can start comparing yourself amongst yourself. I just look at it like people are more caught up with these fake relationship goals. Back to the topic, people are caught up with the fake relationship goals of these couples, but they're not focusing on reality, because those couples are rich or whatever. You know, just because they look happy on a social media picture doesn't mean they're happy in real life, though.
Right. True.
And you know, and that's another thing. The Women Crush Wednesday and shit. Like, you know, I think I seen something where like females want to get posted being somebody crush, but it's like, I just feel like there's more important things besides that, just being somebody crush.
Yeah. Also, too, being behind social media on the internet so much like we have, I feel like if you don't use it, you lose it. So if we're not using these personal or in-person communication skills and we're socially awkward, I feel like it's easier for them to socialize online because that's just what they're used to now. Especially like the kids moving from being in school to some kids is still on virtual. Some kids still not in-person classroom teaching. And I feel like we don't know the long-term effects that us being forced into this virtual world so fast. Well, it feel like it's been happening since 2000s, which it has, but now it seems like it's on fast forward, like steroids.
Right. I agree. People aren't taking relationships like it's just too caught up in the social media realm, and people don't take reality serious. What age will you like recommend your daughter to start seriously dating and looking for a husband?
Shoot, probably around 18, 20.
Okay. Because I feel like women should start looking. I feel like 18 is good, because back in the day people were getting married around 16 or 17 in the 1800s, but I feel like 18 is a good age, you know, or whatever. I mean, you're very, very young. Oh my goodness, you're still a child yourself.
Still, yeah. But you're mature enough to handle relationships.
Right, yeah. I mean, you're old enough to go to the war in the army at 17 or fight for the country and shoot a gun at 17 and fight for the country. I feel like you should be old enough for marriage.
Yeah.
I mean, if that ain't responsibility right there, I don't know what is.
I agree.
So, you say 18 to 21. If you had to tell your younger self, what would your older self tell your younger self about relationships that you didn't know?
My older self would tell my younger self to be patient and to, that's probably like the main thing, to be patient.
I hope I couldn't hear the last part. What you said, excuse me?
I said I would tell myself to be patient. Like, don't try to rush things.
Okay. Right. Do you feel like what you doing now, you being a good role model to your daughter?
Yes.
Okay. What do you tell her about, like, are you even having conversations with her about dating, like what certain guys she should look out for, what she shouldn't look out for?
Oh, we really haven't talked about that yet. Because like I said, she like 11. My oldest is 14, but she's a different type of kid. Like, she's more... for a while, she was the only kid, so she knows how to like pacify herself for real. She likes art, so she does the stuff that she's into. It's actually gonna be my 11-year-old that I know I'm gonna have to sit down. We're gonna have to go through the birds and the bees. We're gonna have to go through, okay, what type bad boys and what to stay away from, what to look for. You know what I'm saying? And she's not really ready for that yet.
And how old she is?
She's 11.
You say your oldest 14, that's the son or the daughter?
My daughter. My oldest is a girl, and she's 14. But like I said, she's not there yet. She's not into boys or like none of that.
No, she probably ain't telling you she in the boys. But she's in the boys.
No, we had a couple conversations.
What grade she in?
She's a freshman in high school.
Oh, yeah. Oh, man. Jesus Christ. Oh, yeah.
Tell me about it.
Oh, bro. I remember being 14. Wasn't that long ago.
Right.
Oh, that was only about 10 years ago. But, yeah. It started off early, so it's good to have those conversations as soon as possible, ASAP. Were you attracted to bad boys or guys like that in your early years?
You said those the kind I was attracted to?
Were you attracted to bad boys, street guys who were doing crime or who wasn't doing nothing with their lives?
I didn't necessarily go after like bad boys, but probably like one or two snuck in there. But that wasn't like my type.
Okay. About the marriage life, what would you tell somebody who want to get married? What are some tips you would tell them before they get married or whatever that can help encourage them?
I would tell someone who's thinking about getting married, I would tell them to try to find like a couples counseling before, and
premarital counseling.
You say what?
It's premarital counseling, yeah.
Oh, right. Yeah, that word. I feel like that could help break down some barriers that people don't even know that they have up sometimes. And then I know, like, living with someone is shacking up. But I feel like that's how you really get to know somebody for real. Having to be around them and share the same space.
Right.
And then if you do it before y'all get married, y'all can just, go your separate ways or whatever when it don't work out. But shoot, after you married and y'all live together, now shit gotta be divvied up and all type of shit like that. It's more difficult to just be like, cut your losses and just go, if that's not what you want.
Okay. How long you think couples should date before they get married or engaged?
I don't think it's really a time limit for real. I think vibes and everybody's different, and you can't base your time on somebody else's time. Just nurture and grow what you got. However long it take you to do that, that's your business though.
If you had to do it again, would you just have like all your kids with your husband now? If you had to do it all over again, would you recommend people to have kids with people they're gonna be married to the rest of their life?
For sure. It would be nice to have all my kids by one person. Mm-hmm. And I feel like that's the right way to do it.
Absolutely. That's the right way.
But I'm learning.
Okay.
And I still, my son was still born out of wedlock, but we married now, so.
Yeah, man. Tell that to your daughter and your sons, man. Tell them about the pitfalls you made and you know what to avoid, though. Just be a guiding light to them. Let them know like this is what I did, and what is like some of the struggles of having kids outside of wedlock for everybody listening? Who gonna listen to it?
It's a lot of internal struggles for real. You just wanna do your best for real. And you don't, it's not always clear. Some struggles. Some people, I was blessed to have a good support system. And some people don't have that. Like, support makes a world of difference. It take a village for real. And even if your support system is not your blood family, just somebody somewhere to help at any way they can. It really do go a long way.
Okay. Support system.
Yeah.
Okay. That's very important though, to have a good, strong support system.
Yeah.
Are you are the baby fathers active in the children's lives?
Sorta, kinda.
Did you? My bad. Go ahead. Finish what you about to say.
I just say they do know them and like who they are, and they talk on the phone and stuff, but they probably don't visit as much as they would like.
Okay. Right. Did he meet any of them? Is your husband?
Yeah.
Okay. What was the vibes like? What was that energy like?
Well, with the oldest father, it's interesting because they kind of got like a cool, cordial relationship. But I do remember like last year, we was getting together for like a couple different occasions for, this is my oldest daughter's father, I'm speaking of. So he wanted to like hang out or like a family dinner for my daughter. It was like her graduation or birthday. And it definitely made my husband feel uncomfortable, which I didn't really totally understand coming from his side.
Wait. You said he felt, so you had your baby father and your husband at the dinner?
Yes.
And
see, now you're just making it sound like him, like it's a bad thing.
I'm gonna tell you why. Go ahead and finish. I'm gonna tell you why he felt uncomfortable. Go ahead.
Okay. So, like I said, he definitely felt a type of way about it, and I didn't understand because I'm like, we co-parent, we're all cordial. It's not like we got some secret backdooring thing going on. We, no secret rendezvous or nothing like that. We just here to support my daughter because we all love her. And so yeah, give me your input on why you think he felt some type of way.
See, let me tell you something. See, you're a woman. I don't know if you'll ever understand, or hopefully you do understand, but men are very territorial. I just felt like, that was something that he wanted to do with y'all as a family, not see another man that you was once in a relationship with. You know what I'm saying? That is very awkward. It's egos and colliding right now. It's like it's very discomforting seeing that somebody you was with across the table from you. It's very unnecessary.
But we wasn't even at the same table. But I see what you're saying. He was there in the
Yes,
vicinity.
exactly. It's just very weird. It's weird energy. Just weird vibes.
But it doesn't have to be.
I mean, that's how he felt, though. That's how somebody feels.
Yeah, and that's why I try not to downplay other people's experiences.
But you shouldn't. It kind of sounded like he was, though, a little bit.
You say you saw. I feel like that's immature.
No,
because
you can't look at it like
if it's not bullshit in the water, and like I said, this is something that she wanted to do. This is her special day. This is her birthday. This is not just no regular day. Oh, it's Tuesday. Let's all go out as a family and eat. Yeah, invite your dad. This is her day. This is her birthday. It's her graduation day. She loves her stepfather. She loves her mother, her brother and sisters, and she loves her dad. So why can't we all come to support her on her day?
Well, I mean, it is, but I'm telling you, that's what probably the insight of it is.
I feel that. And like you said, being a man in that territorial issue.
Commanding, very, I want to not be controlling, but I'm trying to oversee everything. And I look at it like, he's the father. He's a father, too, not because biologically from him, but he's a father. I don't really like the term stepfather. Right. I just feel like that is a man-made term or whatever, or some. I don't know what step means. I mean, because when you're stepping on something, they at the bottom. Mm-hmm. I look at it like he's paying bills, supporting her, feeding her. I mean, he's just as right as blood don't make you family though. People should understand that as well.
Right.
Well, that's why I think that's
sounds about right.
I think that's why, it's just something you should put in consideration, though, should think about. Do they get along? You said, do both of them get along?
Yeah, they're on cordial terms.
Okay. How is co-parenting and having a husband?
Well, because, like I said, I don't really contact their fathers for real, and they're old enough now to where I'd be like, call your dad. You know what I'm saying? I don't have to be the middleman in their conversations or anything like that, so that makes it easy. However, me and my husband, we weren't engaged yet. We were still dating, and it's crazy. We was sitting down watching TV, and now I'm talking about my twin's father. He had texted me, and then he had ended up sending a picture of his penis. And my daughter had my phone because when, like I said, for a while now, they're old enough. They didn't have a phone at that time, so that's why I gave her my phone. But I wasn't talking to him, or we wasn't flirting or nothing like that. And so when he would try to reach them or they wanted to call, I gave her my phone. And then when I looked, because she was sitting right next to me, and I snatched the phone from her real quick, like, oh my God. And my husband was right there. And I told him, and he was upset, rightfully so, because that was disrespectful. He knew that I was with somebody, and he knew that me and him was definitely over and hadn't been a thing in a long time. And so he still kind of look at him with a side eye, like if we do drop the kids off over there or something like that, because he can't breathe wrong, and it's going to be a problem. And I understand that. I get that. Definitely not asking to sit down with dinner with him when he do stupid stuff like that.
And that was the same one that sent a picture of his dick to you?
No.
That was a different one? Right. Why do you feel like he sent that, though?
I don't know. don't know if he was drunk or I don't know if he was feeling himself or I don't know.
When the last time you was actually sexually active with him before y'all was dating? You dating your current husband, your husband?
Probably before my kids was even born.
So that was a while?
Right. They were, when he and I met, this is probably about a couple years ago, so it's probably like 9. So, 9 years before that.
Wow, that's crazy.
It was, and unexpected. Like, that was out of control. I didn't expect it at all.
Right.
And then for my daughter to see it, then I gotta explain to her, like, and then he looking stupid, because now you gotta apologize, because your daughter just seen that.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah, that's very dysfunctional right there. What was it like meeting your husband's parents? What was that like?
I didn't get the pleasure to meet them.
Why is it?
They passed away before he and I had met.
Oh wow, sorry to hear that. Right.
But his family is cool. He has a lot of brothers and sisters, and they all really did accept me with open arms. Everybody's been, nice, and we get along good.
What was your advice to be with a woman with multiple kids?
You said what my advice be?
Yeah, to a woman with multiple kids who is looking for a husband, and because they can't find nobody or it didn't work out with the baby daddies or whatever. And before you answer that, a lot of women nowadays, I feel like, are selfish in a sense, because before you wanted to get married or be in a relationship and you had your 3 kids, like, did you want to date a man with kids, or you was like yes or no with that?
Well, okay, so first you wanted me to say the advice, or first you want me to
answer the second question? Answer the second question.
Okay. So I had my daughter like soon as I graduated from high school. So like right after that it was like, and me and her dad broke up like not too long after I had her. So to me it didn't matter if I was dating somebody and they had kids or not. And I love kids anyway, so I'm good with them. So it wouldn't have mattered to me if they had kids or not, and not just because I already had a kid. However, I didn't really have a preference. But I wasn't like excluding people. For example, like, oh, you got kids, I'm not gonna date you, or you don't got kids.
But don't you feel like
I can't date you?
But don't you feel like you be shooting your own self in the foot? Like, that's basically contradicting yourself when women say that, or you saying that you got 3 kids.
No, I'm saying I didn't have a preference. Like, it didn't matter to me if you had kids or not.
But why do you feel
but
like
I know?
But why do
I feel like?
Why you feel like some women feel like when they have a child or 2 or more or whatever, and they don't want to date men with kids, they just sound ridiculous to me. That's selfishness. You expect like, because to be honest with you, I feel like a lot of women would love to have what you have, a man with no kids to be a father to their kids, but then they don't want to be a stepmother to somebody else's child. It's like, it's ridiculous to me. Like, what's your thoughts on that?
Like, I mean, I understand that, but that's just people's preference. Like, you can't get mad at them for that. Some people don't like dating fat people. Some people only don't like dating fit people. It's just preference. And then once you know your preference, you know where you need to move to. If that's not for you, then it's not.
I just think it's ridiculous. A woman with 2 or more kids or a child saying they don't want to date a man with kids, and you have a child, that is just literally.
But it's guys out here that don't have kids that would date a woman with kids.
No, that's not what I'm saying. I'm saying for you to say that is straight selfishness, though. If I hear a woman say that is a turn off to me. Like, why do you want to date nobody with kids, but you have a whole child there with somebody that you ain't even with no more? It just, I don't see how it makes sense, though. In my look,
I understand what you're saying. But again, it's just their preference. And they have a right to think that way.
No, they don't have a right to think that
necessarily
way.
make it right.
No, they can think that way, but they don't have a right to do that. No, I won't say it's right.
Okay.
They just have it. But I mean, hey, I just, oh my goodness, it just, oof. I'm like, what the hell do you think you is for saying something like that? The first question though, what advice do you with women who got multiple kids and looking for a husband to be in a serious relationship?
Give a single mother the advice of, again, be patient. Continue to hustle and make shit happen like she got to. And just kind of like take it slow, because it's not a necessity necessarily to have a partner. It is nice and it does make life easier. But you don't want to just rush and take on anything, because a lot of guys too, they'll prey on that, like single mothers. I read a post that was like, guys will look through different posts or whatever for little girls and check out the mom's page because she done posted her, and see that there's no guys or whatever in the picture or whatever, and try to court and date the mom just to get to the little girl. So, I mean, you don't want to harm your family for real by trying to, meaning well, trying to get a partner, but it's not the right one. Does that make sense?
I hear what you're saying. I feel like, I mean, yeah, but that's the same thing going back to what we were saying. Women preying on guys with no kids and want them to be fathers or whatever, so they preying on them, which is like, when women, I'll go back to that. When women, people say that, I feel like they wouldn't date themselves. That is bad. If you want to date yourself, that shows a lot about you. But I mean that's a good thing right there to keep your eyes open. I feel like you shouldn't settle for no mediocre bullshit. Well, I should say mediocre. You shouldn't settle for bullshit just to put up with a guy. But I would say this with women with kids or guys with kids too. I feel like your leverage is gone. You see what I'm saying? If that makes sense.
Yeah.
Your dating leverage is gone. Your quote unquote high demands, they have to be brought down.
Mm-hmm.
I mean,
well, not necessarily, because like you said, it's somebody out there that'll go for that. You just ain't met the right one yet. You just got to get through all your no's. But if you keep going, you stay persistent, you gonna find your yes.
But you got
what somebody not willing to do, is always somebody else willing to do it no problem.
I understand that, but with Key, your situation is very rare that a man with no kids took on you with 3 kids. The likelihood for women like that is very, very slim to none. The probability of that is very low. You know that, and I both know that.
Yeah. And you know what? When I had kids, I thought about that. Like, I might not find a partner because I took on this job. I took on this commitment first.
Because consequences.
And I gotta see that one to the end.
Right.
I had my kids, my twins' dad tell me that nobody was going to love me. No one was going to want me because I was kicking his ass out. And then, like, I took it and that resonated. That might be a possibility, but I can't stay here. I still like.
Right. And Jesus is good. Jesus is merciful. He's good. I will say this though. Not to shame women with kids or whatever. I'm not gonna shame anybody or guys with kids because you already had the children and you did what you did. I'm not gonna shame you. Hey, everybody's guilty of something, but there's consequences for your action. When you have a bunch of kids outside of wedlock and you're not sexually responsible at picking your partners, a lot of people gonna look at you differently. They be like, if it didn't work with them and she had a child with him or he had a child with her, what makes you think it's gonna work with me?
Mm-hmm.
So you can't fault people for thinking like that. I'm not gonna fault nobody for thinking that What do you feel like some negative stigmas that single mothers get? Give me like 3 to 5 of them you feel like they get.
One of the stigmas that stick out to me is son be having bad kids. Another one is maybe the baby mama, baby daddy drama type stigma. Those are like the two important ones that come to my mind when I think about, somebody thinking about dating and they have children.
Would you want your son to date a woman with 3 kids or marry a woman with 3 kids?
You said a married woman with 3 kids.
Would you want your son to marry a woman with 3 kids by 3 different women?
I don't know if I would. I mean, I would give him my opinion on
what would your opinion
where I think he's at in his life.
What would your opinion be to him? Okay, right now, wait. Right now, he's 27 and he's 27 years old. And say, Mom, I got this woman I love and I care for her. But hey, the kicker is she got 3 kids by 3 different men, and I care about her and I love her. And she's 25 with 3 different baby daddies. What you gonna tell her? What you gonna tell him?
Honestly, that I would definitely just kind of be there to support him and give him my advice on his relationship when he comes to me with it. I dated someone before, and he's probably like 2 years younger than me, and it was before I met my husband, and he his people, where he was raised by his cousin. So his cousin was thinking that, like, he's younger. We was in our 20s, but like maybe mid 20s. And so she like, she got 3 kids and you still living under my roof. Like, how y'all going? And we didn't work out for real. And I feel like it was like immaturity and but, if it's meant to be, I feel like it's going to be. Every situation not the same, or like that cookie cutter, yes, no. There's different variations, personalities. It's just a lot to go in one situation. And if it feels right, and then you just kind of know. But if it don't, then you got to know when to let it go. Because it's going to be good and bad in any relationship. You got to outweigh the pros and cons. If you got more pros than cons, then it sounds like a winner. And I was a good influence on him, too. Like, going to church is not necessarily, it's perceived as a good look. But yeah, I don't know. It didn't work out. So maybe they was right to tell him what you doing with this girl with 3 kids. That's not what's best for your life right now.
Did he have kids?
He didn't have any, no.
Okay. At a point in your life, would you kind of like blame yourself when you had 3 kids? Like, it's never gonna happen for me. I made a huge mistake.
I didn't necessarily blame myself, but I did realize the truth that, I won't say it was the truth, but I felt like at one point I didn't really trust my judgment in men. Like, it's not working. And so at that point I decided to just date and like not really commit myself to one person and not necessarily have sex and fuck every guy that I talked to or dated either. Just kind of get to know people, conversation, because first you got to take their mind anyways. People that's mature, you're going to have to interest them in the mind first, not just the physical or the body. So
I feel like the people always talking about having sex with people having pretty babies, but you never rarely hear somebody say talking about I want to get with that person because they got a smart mind, or that person is brilliant and intellectual. That person has a relationship with Jesus, or that person right there got good problem solving skills. So our kids can have good problem solving skills. So that person is intelligent. She's a forward thinker, or he's a forward thinker, or they planners or whatever. They know how to just do different things. You never hear people say that they want to have sex with somebody because they look good. Like what kind of shit is that?
Shallow.
That's
a lot of shallow.
That's like that's so vanity. There's nothing but vanity.
Yeah.
It's so vain. This social media shit is vain. That's why I hate this shit. Like.
Yeah. And the minute they have to be pre-ordering babies, I want them to have this color hair, this kind of hair, this color eyes, this color skin, this type of build when they grow up. We ain't seen nothing yet.
How you didn't know the worst thing I ever hear black women say? I want to get me somebody who not black, or I want to get a Mexican person or a white person so we can have pretty hair and pretty eyes. Just ignorant shit.
I heard stuff like that when I was in grade school. That's the way it sounds so immature to me.
Stupid.
Like people still saying that.
You got grown ass people still saying that. Somebody want to have a pretty baby, somebody like a Mexican person, we can have pretty hair, or we get a white person, they can have pretty hair, or pretty eyes, or pretty skin. Saying ignorant ass shit like that, just ignorant as they want to be. You only hear black people say that shit though. I'm gonna be honest with you. I feel like a lot of black women don't teach their daughters about marriage or whatever, or sons teach their about marriage, because I feel like they don't want them to do better than them. Parents don't want their children to do better than them.
That's
they don't want to see their children win. They want them to do good, but they don't want to do better than them. And that's what a lot of people out here, And it's sad that that's why I feel like the older generation has failed women and men. The older men have failed the men, and the older women have failed the women. The older generation has failed. The parents are failing right now. That's why it's like this right now.
That's deep, because I've always had the mindset, or been around the mindset, that you want your children to do better than you. You want them to supersede you in life and in success and happiness and peace. So that's very strange, and like you said, it sounds kind of dysfunctional and very foreign to me to have this mindset.
Please be active in, just have conversations with your daughter and your sons about these things, because this stuff is so very, very vital. It's so vital that these things happen, because these parents are not talking to the kids. They're not teaching them about being marriage or anything. They're being raised by rap music. The rap music and reality TV show is raising kids, the future generation.
YouTube.
Yeah, that's what's raising the kids, because the parents ain't doing it. Okay.
It is tough. Can I ask you a question?
Yeah, go ahead.
Okay. So, back in the day, our parents, they didn't play disrespectful shit. Ain't no rolling your eyes, ain't no breathing real hard, what you puffing your chest out for. But these kids today, I feel like they definitely try it and get away with it. And my husband definitely told, well, I know I'm this kind of mom too. I don't really whip my children for real. Now, that's not to say that they don't get punished, or they don't get verbally checked. But as far as whoopings for real, I don't really partake unless they just did something outrageous for real. And I feel like it's because when I was younger, I didn't get a lot of whoopings because I was a pretty good kid, but my brothers did, and I saw that. And I just always said, I don't really want to, whoop my children for every little thing, for real. What do you think that parents need to stop sparing the rods these days, and maybe it'll get a little better, or you think they're going in the right direction? And, because even in school, you could get a corporal punishment from your principal or your teacher. They had paddles.
Me personally, I don't believe whippings change anything because there's a lot of people in prison incarcerated right now who used to get their ass whipped by their parents who was physically abused. But I do encourage punishment. I encourage discipline. I do encourage that. Do your husband whip your children? Whip the children?
No.
Whip the children?
No.
Does he discipline the children?
Well, like I said, we'll verbally, they'll get yelled at or they'll get sent to their room or like their phone to get taken or something like that. But
Okay. And what did he do for a living?
He's a tattoo artist.
And what you do for a living?
I'm a stay-at-home mom, and I'm a student right now.
What you getting a degree in?
Well, I'm actually going to cosmetology school.
Okay, that's dope. And he has his own tattoo business, tattoo shop.
Well, we have our private studio in our home.
Okay, that's dope. And what question did he ask you to be a wife? Because that's another question. Like when a woman you're a woman, okay, and you meet for advice for women who, when they date a man and they're serious about marriage, what question did he ask you that he was serious about this? Like, what were some of the topics about to let you know that he wanted to marry you?
Well, I remember when he told my mom, when he had first met her, and he definitely told her that he was going to marry me. And I feel like he's telling my mom that too, not just me. I took it more serious. We talked about kids, and it's funny because I had my kids early, like I said, and I didn't plan on having no more children after I had my twins. And even that was a problem in my relationship before my husband. An ex had brought up like having kids and stuff, and I definitely told him like I wasn't. But when you meet the right person or your soulmate, and like I said, it feels right. You definitely changed my mind and the way I think on some things. And I'm thankful I was able to grow.
Any other particular questions he asked you?
No, we were like pretty much on the same page.
Okay.
We wanted the same things, for real.
Okay. And what was your mother's response to you when you told her you were getting married?
Well, she was happy for me.
Mm-hmm. That's good. And what are the cons for getting married for everybody? You told us the pros earlier. And what's some of the cons? Like, what's some of the difficulties of being married?
Well, communication, for sure. Sometimes it doesn't always go right, or just because what you say, the other person may perceive it differently. So there's a miscommunication there sometimes, or trust is a big one, especially with the kind of field that my husband works in. Trust is very important and essential for our relationship to work and grow smoothly.
Okay. Was your friends excited for you about getting married?
You said, was my friends excited about me getting married?
Yes.
Yes, I definitely had their support.
Okay. And were they married? Are your friends married?
One of my friends was married.
Okay. Okay. And the other one's single. Okay. Yeah, I think the hot girl summer shit and that bullshit. They got 30+ year old women talking about hot girl summer, and 40-plus-year-old women talking
You
about.
ain't never too old to live your best life.
No, that is shit keeping women single and lonely, dying alone. Bullshit.
Just because you're single, that don't mean you lonely.
It might be lonely, but you need to figure out how to cooperate with a man or get in a relationship, because 37 and single is not cute. It's not. It's not. You know, there's women turning 18 every day. You're in competition with or not. So hey,
Yeah.
yes. Hey, I appreciate you stopping by on the podcast. You got any questions you'd like to ask me before I let you go?
Yeah. Have you proposed to someone before?
That's a good question. I have.
Oh.
I was like 21 when I did it. I'm 24 now. Well, about to be 25 in June.
Oh, okay.
I did it
So
before.
do you mind me asking why? How did that work out?
It didn't work out.
Okay.
It didn't.
And why do you think it didn't?
I think we just went our separate ways. I was doing stuff, she was doing stuff, like, you know, and I just think we grew apart. She grew apart, you know. She wanted something different in life and something I couldn't give her. And, you know, I think it just filtered out, basically. And now, that was when I was 21. Anyways, I'm going on 25. That was almost 2.5 years ago before it broke up. That was 23. So it's just, that was a patch in our lives. I think we just wanted something different.
So how long did you guys know each other before you proposed?
Oh, wow. I think about 6 or 7 months. I was 21.
Oh, okay.
My ring was kind of cheap, though, too. It's like, yeah.
But if you love somebody, that really, really doesn't matter, to be honest.
How much your ring got cost?
No, that's too personal. But what I will tell you is he could have gave me a damn string, and I was going to wear that motherfucker.
Okay. Yeah. I had did it at the beach and everything. I remember I had planned it out. It was my birthday weekend.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. It was cool. It was fun while it lasted. But everything happened for a reason, you know.
That's true. What's meant to be will be.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah.
I definitely appreciate you for having me.
Yeah, man, you was great. I'm gonna post it as soon as possible. I appreciate you, Keith, for stopping by, though.
Alrighty then. You enjoy your night.
You too. Enjoy yours as well.
Okay. Bye bye.